Yes.
Hi, my name is Jess,
And my name is Isabella.
and we're doing Domain 1, Food, Nutrition, and Supporting Science, Topic A, Principles of Normal Nutrition.
So osmosis is a movement of water, the solvent, across a semi-permeable membrane from low to high solute concentration. Diffusion is a movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration.
And we have a picture of what diffusion and osmosis looks like.
So urine-specific gravity is a test used to determine the concentration of all chemical particles in urine. The normal lab ranges for this test, the urine-specific gravity test, is 1.005 through 1.030.
Albumin. What is albumin? Albumin is the most abundant protein in your blood. And albumin is made by your liver. Its responsibility is to keep the fluid from leaking out of your blood. And albumin also functions to carry substances such as your hormones, your enzymes, and your vitamins throughout your body. And we have a picture to the right, and that's just to represent what albumin looks like, its structure of how it's made.
So insufficient albumin in the body allows fluid to move across vessel walls and into the interstitial spaces, causing generalized edema. Albumin's role is to regulate osmotic pressure. Albumin levels rise when a person is dehydrated, and this is relative to an increase that occurs as the volume of plasma decreases.
What is edema? When I think of edema, I think of swelling. Edema is swelling caused by the excess fluid that is trapped in your body's tissues. And in most cases, edema affects not just one lower extremity, but both of your lower extremities. Anasarca is the general swelling of the entire body that can occur when the tissues of the body retain too much fluid. And it's also known as extreme generalized edema. So in our picture, the foot on top is what a normal foot should look like. And on the bottom foot, that's representing what a foot with edema looks like. As you can see, it's very swollen, and that's just caused by the excess fluids that are trapped inside. Okay, so dehydration. There are three main causes of dehydration. I'm going to lump in diarrhea and vomiting because those two things cause dehydration because your body doesn't have the fluid it needs to function properly, and it causes you to get dehydrated. Because if you think about it, when you're vomiting, you're losing excess fluid. When you have diarrhea, you're losing excess fluid. Opposite ends of the body, of course, but you're still losing that excess fluid. And that fluid loss is causing your body to not have enough to do the functions that it normally would be able to do. which is why it's causing you to get dehydration. And then sweating. Sweating is a big cause of dehydration. When you're sweating, you're losing your electrolytes, and that causes an electrolyte imbalance. The main electrolyte that you are losing when you are sweating is sodium. So it's very important that if you're going to be in hot temperatures, hot weather, and say you're running, you would want to take a supplement such as like a sports drink that has a good amount of sodium in it to prevent getting dehydrated, especially in those 90-degree temperatures in the hot sun.
So there are several lab values affected by dehydration. BUN, which is blood urea nitrogen. The levels increase with dehydration due to a lack of fluid volume to excrete the waste product. CBC, which is complete blood count. Levels usually increase with dehydration, specifically the hematocrit test, which measures how much blood is made up of red blood cells, and the levels increase due to a lack of fluid. Sodium increases with dehydration as well due to a lack of fluid in the body, and potassium levels increase with dehydration too. Since the body doesn't have enough fluids, it can't process the potassium, right? So it builds up in the body and potassium levels increase.
So there's many symptoms of dehydration. What most people, the common one that people know of is the color of your pee. If it's really light and it looks like water, that means you're super hydrated. But if it's very dark and it's like a darkish brown yellow, it means that you're dehydrated. That is an indicator. The other symptoms of dehydration include thirst. Your body is thirsty because it doesn't have enough water in its body, in the body. And it's causing you to crave more water. So it's causing you to become more thirsty. Dry mouth is a sign of dehydration. Not peeing a lot is a sign of dehydration because your body doesn't have enough excess fluid to excrete. Dry, cool skin is a symptom of dehydration. Headache, muscle cramps, as I was mentioning before, that when there's electrolyte imbalance, it can cause muscle cramps. So if, like, as I was going back to before, when you're running and you get like a calf cramp, it could be because you don't have enough sodium in your body, because you're sweating it out while running in the heat. So it can cause a muscle cramp if you're dehydrated. So it's really important to make sure that you're properly hydrated when you do all these activities and throughout the day. Dizziness is a symptom of dehydration. Increase in the heartbeat that is very rapid. Your heart is beating very fast is a sign of dehydration. Nausea, vomiting, sign of dehydration, and sleepiness is a sign of dehydration.
So hyponatremia is high serum sodium in the body, and it's when the body contains too little water and causes dehydration. But on the other hand, hyponatremia is low serum sodium in the body, and it's when the body holds onto more water and causes edema, as you can see on the right picture.
And that's it, guys. That is our presentation.
Thank you.
Mm-mm.